I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we've got a Gamo with us, a Gamo air gun. It's a Whisper Fusion Elite. The velocity is 975 feet per second. But this is not my gun. This belongs to Jim, a friend of mine, and he has had a hard time getting it to group at all. He's been trying to do it at 25 yards. And the other day, I'll show you a picture of a can here. In 3 rounds, I was able to hit the middle of that Pepsi can, like I use as a bullseye, and then I was able to really blast the area. So what we're going to do today is we got it out here at Cedar Oaks, and I've got some targets set up there. I've got them already marked, because we're going to use different types of pellets. And this is a 22 caliber, by the way. I'm going to set this down right over here. Put it in a safe spot. That's a break barrel, by the way, single shot. This is not like my Swarm where you got a 10-round magazine. Here are the pellets we're going to be using. This is a Ruger Superpoint. They're put out by Umarex. That one was the one that I sighted it in with, by the way. These are the ones that Jim said that he had the best luck with. I have no idea what brand or anything these are, really. I don't even see on it. There's nothing on it. So we're just going to have a J up there for Jim. These are Excite. They're plinking pellets. We're going to try those. I'm not too sure about that. And these have been really weird. So I'm not really planning on too good of accuracy, even though they're called a Sniper Magnum. They're put out by H&N. They have been strange, and maybe this gun will work in, who knows, but we got them on there too. There's the bottom one. We got them all marked, so I'm going to get back here and we're going to shoot about 5 rounds of each, and then we're going to take a look at it. Well, as you know, I usually shoot freestanding, so that's what I'm going to do here. We can see what we can do. I'm going to fire Jim's pellets first, as I said, and that's off to the left, top left I should say. Okay, next up is Ruger. That's the ones that I used the other night. We'll see how they do. This is going to be to the right, top right. I think that was 5, I don't know. I'm going to go with the next ones anyway. These are the Excite plinking. These are wad cutter. By the way, the last 2 were pointed. So we'll see what this wad cutter does. This will be the lower left-hand side. We're going to go with the H&N next. And these are the Sniper pellets. They look a lot like the ones Jim had. Okay, let's go take a look at this. Alright, I see what Jim means. I mean, they're all over the place, and I was aiming right into here. I mean, they didn't even get close. And you seen that can, the way I had it, and he said, every time he tried to shoot at 25 yards, and this looks like it must have hit the, I actually hit the, that must have been that one that sounded a little odd, I don't know. Hit the thumbtack. I think so. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is we're going to change. I really think that this gun is like some of the others. The heck with this. I'm going to try to get it back in there. I think this gun is more for like 10, 15 yards, something like that. We're just going to see. I mean, I had this thing sighted in, and that's what he said. This is the regular Gamo scope, and he put that on. So let's go back here about 10 or 15 yards and see what we're going to do. And we're going to shoot right at this middle one and see. So let's do that. I didn't notice any keyholing on that. That's what I was worried about when he was telling me about all the problems he had. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use just those Ruger pellets that I had sighted in with. And we're going to see, you can see one of them down here is kind of bad. I don't want to put that in. That's right out of the can. So we're going to see what we can do here from about 15 yards, I guess we are. That's what the marker says. It was definitely closer to the bullseye. Looks like it's wanting to shoot to the left, but at least it's closer. All hitting right about that same area. Scope may need readjusted again. Who knows? Yeah, it's wanting to hit right into that same area. I mean, it's grouping, just not where I want it to group, because I want to get it in the middle. And I mean, it is right in that same area. So if you're after a grouping, it's doing it. But it's a lot closer. 25 yards, I can't get that. So, I don't know. Well, that one went high. That was a flyer. Because I was not aiming there at all. Anyway, we can see we're getting a grouping. That's where it's wanting to land. As I'm aiming right at that bullseye. And we're going to go back up there. And you can see right here, that one was actually a flyer. But right in here, this is a pretty tight grouping. And that's what Jim was talking about, is a grouping. And if you want a grouping, it's there. But again, I had to move up to a different yardage. And these were at 25 yards. Then I move up here and I'm getting a grouping like that. You know, just for the heck of it, we're not going to fire many rounds, and I'm going to use those Ruger ones again, maybe. I might even take Jim's with me. We're going to go over to the 50-yard range. And we're just going to shoot at steel and see if it'll go to the 50 yards and hit that steel. I know it sounds kind of funny, but the way this was going at 25 yards, I'm doubting if it'll even hit steel at 50 yards. But we're going to try it. Alright, I've got you zoomed in on a target. I'm using my sign metal target so we'll be able to hear. And like I said, I'm going to just shoot the Rugers. Jim's load's funny. I just don't quite understand. It's really tough to do. I see the wind's catching that thing up there even. But let's take a shot and see if we can hit that at least at 50 yards. I'm just not too sure, really. Oh, it did. Not sure exactly where, but it hit it so that it... We'll fire another one. Sure it's not a fluke. So we'll fire another one at it. Yep, it hit it. So, by golly, it does hit 50 yards, but where does it hit in that target? I'm not really too sure, but at least it does hit it. So let's go back over to our 25-yard range. Well, I went up to the 50-yard area and picked up the target. I wanted to see if I could see where maybe I was hitting. Well, believe it or not, those were pointed tips, as you know. There was Rugers, and looks like I got some right in there. That's where I was aiming at. I don't get it. 50 yards and I'm hitting better than I was, and I was freestanding just like before. There's a good shiny one right there where I hit one there and one there at 50 yards. And that was definitely, these are the pointed ones because it's got a real small dot. And by the time it got there, it wasn't going to flatten out all that much, because 975 feet per second at 50 yards, you could even tell if you on the sound. When I fired it, it took just a little bit to get there before you heard that clang. And that's weird. That is really weird. That's what it looks like. So anyway, I shot it for Jim. I used the Ruger ones for that, the Umarex Rugers, and those are the Superpoints, I believe it is. I think that's what they're called. Take a look here. Yep, Superpoints. That's what they're like right there. And I had not fired these 22s out of a rifle like this before. So I was kind of anxious to do it because I don't have a 22 that I could use with it. So it kind of served both purposes. I was able to try it out for Jim and see what he's talking about. Yes, it is have a problem at 25 yards on grouping, because even freestanding, I ought to be a lot tighter than that. I had that scope right on there, and as I said, you seen right at first how that was sighted in, where I was hitting right down the middle on that can after about 3 rounds. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.